This is a Milwaukee 2804 hammer drill. This is a fuel brushless motor. This is a really nice hammer drill, and I just got this thing, and I'm a big fan of the Milwaukee product line in general. So this isn't a total knock on the Milwaukee stuff. There's just one thing about this particular unit that I didn't really like as it came out of the box, and one upgrade that I did to it that made it considerably better in my opinion. So let me show you guys what that is. Alright, this is just to show you guys what the amount of play, just visible play. I don't have any gauges or anything of that nature. You can just see it with your bare eyes on this Milwaukee M18 hammer drill. This is a 2804 model. So this is how they come out of the box. You can see the amount of wobble that's in there, and so let me show you what that looks like with a bit in there, just for good measure. So just to show you with a bit in it. I don't know if you can really see that very well, but it moves around quite a bit. So not really an ideal tool for anything that might require a little more precision. So I mean, if you're just slamming holes in concrete, this is probably okay for some stuff, but not ideal for other stuff. So it seems kind of both directions. So I'm doing some looking online. This seems to be pretty standard. I've seen posts where people have sent their drill into Milwaukee, and Milwaukee sends them back, and they're doing the same thing. So it seems it's just kind of a cheap chuck that comes on these drills. So obviously the drill is pretty stout otherwise, but you just don't get the precision that you might want out of a unit like this. So I'm going to show you how to fix that. So I picked up this Rome chuck from Amazon, and I'll put a link in the description below on this one. It was about 38 bucks. These are built to a much higher standard, and this is a very quality unit. So I'm going to show you how we get this onto the 2804, and like I said, I'll put a link in the description because some of these Milwaukees use a different chuck, so this one will fit the 2804 unit. First, you're going to go ahead and open up the jaws on the original chuck, and you'll see, if you can get this thing to focus in there, there is a Torx bit down there at the bottom, and this is a T40 Torx bit, and this is reverse threaded, so you have to turn this clockwise in order to get it to spin out. So turn it, righty loosey, lefty tighty on this one instead of the standard bolt thread. What I'm going to do first is I'm actually going to take just a soldering gun and throw that down in there and let that kind of warm that bolt up for a little bit. There's some thread locker on there from the factory, so instead of risking damaging the bolt head or the Torx socket that I have, make a little easier work of this by heating this up for a couple minutes first, and then I'll twist it out. And there you go. I mean, you just used a simple T40 bit to unscrew this one, but you can see the thread locker that's on there. So I didn't let the soldering gun sit for very long in there, maybe a minute or two, just enough to get some warmth into the bolt. Let it sit for another minute or so after that, so it kind of radiated it into it, and then it twisted out pretty easily. It took a little bit of force, but it didn't give me too much trouble. So now I've just taken a 10 millimeter Allen wrench. It was the biggest one that I had with me at the house, and chucked it up in the drill here, and I'm just gonna give it a good whack right there. I can't film this while I'm doing this because I'm doing this with my phone. So, but I'm just gonna give this a really good whack here, and it should break that loop. So that was really simple. did not take much pressure at all to break that loose. So you can see that's screwing off of there. So I'm going to unchuck this and unscrew this the rest of the way. And I did just want to show you guys that this is not a problem with the motor itself or the base having an issue, because we can turn this here and you can see that it's pretty precise. So there's not really any wobble going on there. So the wobble is coming purely from the chuck itself. So it's a little uneven or whatever's going on, but it doesn't spin straight there. But at the motor, it appears to be spinning dead on, so, or at least visibly so. And just to give you guys a little side-by-side of the original Milwaukee chuck, this is one that we just pulled off that came with it. And here is the new Rome chuck that I showed you guys. That'll be a direct replacement here. And there we go, guys. There's the Rome chuck installed, and I put a bit in here just to show you, but you will notice that the chuck, and I don't know if you guys can see it or not, but there is the most minor amount of visual deviation in the chuck itself, but the bit appears to be spinning true. So and it's a considerable difference from where we were with the previous setup. So I understand this isn't a drill press, this isn't a mill, this isn't necessarily a unit of extremely high precision, but the difference between the Rome chuck and the original Milwaukee chuck is considerable. So this is a whole lot better, and in my opinion, absolutely worth the $38 difference to kind of upgrade the unit and make sure that that's going to save me headaches down the line, drilling holes and for some of the projects that I got this unit for. So anyway, I hope that helps you guys out. Like I said, I will put a link in the description below for this Rome chuck, should anybody want to do this. I should also note that installation was exactly the opposite of removal. Once the chuck was out of there, I just spun it back on. I did chuck up that 10mm back into it and gave it a little tightening, and then just put my reverse thread bolt back in, and that was that. So it doesn't really require much video for that process. Just put everything back together the way it came apart, and you should be good to go.